Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Spencer Reeve and Ross Thompson from IDW Games looking at Galaxy Hunters. Is this a full production version of the game?
It is a pre-production, so...
Pre-production copy. There is only a small amount of what's actually in the box out here at the moment. Yes.
This is probably, I would say, probably about 5 to 10% of what's actually in this box. Except for the miniatures. That's 4 miniatures, which is what's going to come in the game starting. The game will be kickstarted, and so there's stretch goals and additional miniatures that might get unlocked. But right now, the core game is this is a small representation because it's a massive game. It's a big, heavy Euro worker placement. You know, in the vein of something like a Scythe, where it's going to take. I don't want to say it's a full evening game, but it's going to take between an hour and 2 hours.
2 hours, play. Yeah. We've been playing a lot at home with this copy, and we'd probably say 2 hours is probably where we've been at.
Okay. And a bit of a table hog, too.
It's definitely a table hog.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So we don't normally stack things up like this, but we are only to show you what this is like and be able to see things.
Right.
So because the board is massive, and you have these panels off to the side of the boards here where you actually keep some of the upgrades, which we'll get to momentarily, and those would normally go and hog up more of your table. I mean, this is a gamery game with lots and lots and lots to think about and to choose, and more options means more components. The box that you can even see there, the box is just massive. Yes. It's deep and it's wide. Which is cool, and again, there's kind of this idea of I don't know how to say it, but the elusive thematic Euro, right? The idea that can you make a really thematic Euro? And I mean, we've seen that people have been successful, and this is just our attempt to, right?
Okay.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was about to throw it right back to you to say, so what are we doing?
Sure, perfect. Well, then I'll tell you what we're doing.
All right.
What we have is basically, the idea is that this galaxy has become overrun by these mutation monsters here that are in the bottom of this corner. They're all coming from this wasteland planet.
Okay.
And these mega corporations who have kind of been the fault, they're at fault for making these monsters, are now hiring mercenaries to go and destroy the monsters and harvest the DNA from the monsters, because there is some value to the monster's DNA.
Okay.
This technology used to create the monsters is still valuable to these mega corporations.
Okay.
So what we'll do as players is we will select a pilot and a mech. These sheets are actually 2 pieces, and we I hope I use this term correctly. I've been using it all day. Snake draft. So one person on one side of the table.
That is the right term.
Yeah. So one person on one side of the table is going to get a pilot, and another person on the other side is going to get a mech, and you're going to kind of meet in the middle. So what's interesting about that is that you're never seeing the full tableau of what your character is going to be when you're making your decisions, but you're getting enough information to make a somewhat educated guess. You can say, hey, this guy has a lot of ammo and not so many shields like this dude here. And this guy has a lot of armor, or not so much ammo. So you kind of go, what am I thinking my playstyle is going to be this turn? Is this mech a good fit for it? Other side of the table, people are looking at the special abilities, the 4 special abilities that this pilot has, and says, oh well, I actually like these 4 special abilities, but you won't know what special abilities you're going to get until you get your mech, because when you put them together, these check marks indicate what special abilities are being set off by comparing this pilot and this mech, right?
Okay.
And that means, too, if you love this mech because you think it's got good base stats, but you get a different pilot, the game's always different, right, when you play the next round. So when you play, you're going to get your pilot and your mech, and you're also going to get what we call these 2 agent meeples. And agents are like these dudes in spaceships that go and help your guy out. He's kind of hired them to help collect resources so that he can continue to build up his mech, because at the end of the day, all you really want to do is kill these monsters, because monsters are just not good. Nobody likes a monster, is my understanding.
It's true.
So you want to go kill these giant monsters, and you need to do that by building out your mech with weapons, armor upgrades, special abilities. And actually, another cool aspect of that is the neuro connection or whatever these guys have. The pilot has a preferred build out. Okay. So you can see here when you buy upgrades, the pilot wants a weapon. This pilot in particular wants a weapon in this location. And these actually all hex together, so they fit around. So you have 6 spaces that are preferred. And if you do that by the end of the game, you're going to get 7 victory points. And the game
for that pilot.
For that. And the game is very much a Euro, you just want to have victory points, the most victory points by the end of the game, and it's point salad. How are you going to get those victory points? Well, there's lots of options, right? So once you have this done, you have your agents. They'll go to these planets. So I'm going to kind of push these aside here. And you'll take your agents, and on each turn, each player will take one of their agents available to them, and they'll place it on the planet, and they'll gather those resources, and then I should say here, they will gather, let's go here. They'll gather these resources, so they'll get the 2 of this type of resource, and then they'll get an ammo cube if they need it to refill their ammo. These resources, along with the resources they get from killing the monsters, will be used to buy upgrades.
Okay.
And again, we're talking about a small percentage of the components being shown. There's a ton of these tokens because you need lots of resources. So there's a bunch of little tokens in the game to kind of track all these different resources that are used to buy these different goods. So as you go and you collect these resources, you're basically creating a surplus of resources that you can then use to buy upgrades. Those upgrades will then be used like a weapon and additional armor slot, which we'll grab here. And I will then fill this armor slot with the cubes if I needed to. I will then take my mech. Can I use one of those mechs?
Yes, you may.
It's that big guy right there.
Boom, boom, boom.
I'll take my mech and I can actually go and place it over here, and I'm going to engage in one of these monsters. And it doesn't really matter where around here I place them. I'm going to just say I'm engaging with this one.
Okay.
And it's an even swap. So I'm going to have to be able to deal 4 damage, but I'm always going to take the damage they deal back. So I need to deal 4, and I'm going to have to take 4 in this guy's case.
Yeah.
So when I do that, he comes off, and I'll flip him over, and at the end of the round, after everybody's finished, I will be given these rewards, which is more resources, more things to generate points, and more ways to generate equipment for my mech. And also there's, we don't have the cards out, but there's also special mission cards that, lovely, they, Ross might pull some out real quick, that are kind of Ticket to Ride-esque, like I'm taking this, and if I complete this by getting these things, I'm going to, perfect. So for example, these cards have resources that they require, and then if I get that, I get 5 points.
And those are all the monster DNA pieces.
Yeah. So that's the type of monster DNA, and you can see their hexes.
That's what we can see, like this right there.
Perfect.
So that matches the orange guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they're hexes, and that's the difference between the resources are rounds, and hexes are DNA.
And those will refresh each turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you always have a cycling like objective card you can buy into. You can go here and spend money to get like other pilot upgrades. Here you can buy ammo and weapons. And as you're completing quests, these guys are also paying out, killing monsters and completing some quests. You're getting paid out in this kind of reputation. Hitting certain checkpoints in the reputation are also going to earn you victory points.
Okay.
So then you get to the end of the game, which is 9 rounds, which I'll push this back up here, which is down here across this. You'll get to the end of the game, and you'll basically calculate who's just got the most victory points. There's a couple times where you have to go into debt. Basically, you have to pay the guys what they're owed, so you have to pay for all of your ships. So you need to surplusing of money to pay for these ships. Also, there is these invasion trackers, and this says basically on this round, this guy, one of these monsters, there's normally a stack of monsters that you're flipping over to fill these holes as they get killed, will go out and track onto one of these planets depending on the round number. He'll go to that planet and invade it. When a monster has invaded a planet, the planet's kind of cut off to you, unless you spend 2 of your guys to go distract them and then put your mech on top of them to fight them. So the idea is that these guys come in and run like defense, and then this guy comes in and actually deals the damage. And you'll get rewarded this and whatever the thing would play out sort of normally. So as a good worker placement, it is a very simple, like on my turn, where am I going to place my worker? But the strategies of why I'm placing my worker there and the path to victory that I'm generating for myself, it may vary from player to player, and there's like a lot of calculation needed to be made into that.
Okay. All right. Covers a lot of ground there.
Dude, I was like, man, you're awesome.
It's gonna go.
Yeah, one of the things
it's after 6. We're all tired. I'm just trying to get through it, guys.
Yeah. So one of the things that you kind of missed over a little bit was like, so when you kill this monster here, right? So he does 4 damage.
Yeah.
So we'll go to our shields.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Right here, and we'll take off 4
of those cubes.
Of those cubes.
So you'll be left with 1.
Which is then also cool because then if that was filled up, he'd have
additional armor.
So when he's fighting some of those bigger guys, because some of those guys give out double DNA and things like that, which is super helpful.
And that's a cool thing he's pointing out is that there's cool cards that come up. There's specialist cards later that come up that we don't have out either. But the specialist cards do things like, hey, some of these planets give you radiation, and radiation's worth -3 victory points at the end of the game. Well, there's a specialist that's a radiation specialist, and he actually turns your -3 into a +1. So you could be running this whole game through with a bunch of radiation, because going to these planets that give you radiations give you some rare types of resources. And then you get that specialist and go, oh, all of a sudden I'm doing okay. And also by having these things, you can, there's a specialist that calls your mech back. So you can go and put your mech down, and then you can call your mech back, extending your turn by another round.
Right.
which you're the only person who has that specialist, or maybe one other person does. You pull him back, and then you can redeploy and fight another monster as long as you've got ammunition.
As long as you've got the ammunition and the energy to do all that.
So you can kind of
Okay.
press your luck a little bit and say, hey, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to get more resources. So as you get towards the end of the game, you're having a lot of like chains of commands happening that you're going like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. That's going to pull this guy back, and then I'm going to get to replace. Which is this guy can even go here. This guy putting him here recalls this guy, and then putting one guy here onto your dashboards refills for any cubes of your choice. So,
Okay.
Yeah, that's the game.
that's the game.
So
There you
we'll have it on Kickstarter later this month,
Yeah, March 28th.
March 28th,
Yep.
and then it'll be coming out to retail and fulfillment.
Fulfillment in retail probably August, September of this year.
Yeah.
As you can see, the game's done, basically. We just waiting to go to Kickstarter. We have a lot of cool ideas for what we want to do for stretch goals, and a lot of bonuses for even just improving the retail box with those stretch goals.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Spencer, Ross, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go. Galaxy Hunters. Size 3 cats. Definitely a 3 cat box.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a bonus. You're like, I can definitely get all 3 of my cats in this box. They're going to love it.